Once again, welcome you all onto the INSIGHT Study by A.R, where learning becomes easy as well as interactive. So, in this session, we are going to discuss about the Educart questions of your social science books. As I told you before that, in this session we are going to solve Educart plus exam idea. But due to the process of very long video, I cannot upload both. As it is already been a long video, we will continue the exam idea questions in the next video. This video is going to be very important for you as it contains all types of important questions like assertion, reason, tick the correct option, fill in the blanks and many more which is you are going to face in your board exams, as well as toppers answers that tells you how to write in your board exams. So why wait? Let's begin the session. In this session, we are going to discuss all the 1 mark questions of Educart book of chapter 1, Nationalism in Europe. In the next video, we will be discussing the chapter 2 of the history, which is Nationalism in India. So without wasting our time, get aside with a pen and a copy and use to write those questions which answer you are unable to give, because every time watching video is not good. You may know that what you know and what you does not know. And the best way to learn the question which you do not know is to just write it aside and see it 2 to 3 days regularly. It will be on your mind. Now your video is going to start with the first question on your screen. It is not in the form of quiz, but it is similar to a quiz. So the first question is question of our Educart book, which is in the form of multiple choice question. So the first question from you is, which of the following revolutions is called as the first expression of nationalism? And your options are the French Revolution, B, the Russian Revolution, C, the Glorious Revolution, and D, the Revolution of Liberals. First, read the questions carefully. It is telling that which revolution first expresses the feeling of nationalism. And your time starts now. And your answer will be the French Revolution. Now we will know one by one what is French Revolution, what is Russian Revolution, what is Glorious Revolution, and what is Revolution by Liberals, so that we cannot live in confusion. So the explanation of French Revolution is, it occurred in 1789 when France was ruled by a monarchical body under the leadership of Louis XVI. The French Revolution changed France from a monarchy to a sovereign body. These revolutions made France a nation-state and brought many political and constitutional change. Along with this, the world got a clear expression of nationalism, and many countries inspired with this revolution and try to prepare nationalism in their country too. After that, now we will know about Russian Revolution. So the Russian Revolution take place in 1970. It drew idea from the French Revolution itself. When the workers and peasants raised their voice against the Russian Revolution, Russian government of Tsar Nicholas II, it was ruled by Vladimir Lenin and a group named Bolshevik. Means the Bolshevik group was led by Vladimir Lenin. The country of Soviet Union was established by the new communist government. Second, we will know about the Glorious Revolution. In this Glorious Revolution, it is also known as Revolution of 1688 or the Blood Revolution, which took place from 1688 to 1689 in England, when King James II was replaced by his daughter Mary and William of Orange. And the revolution by liberals it took place in 1848 and was led by the educated middle class. The revolution in France brought about the abdication of monarch. Can you tell me which monarch was abdicated by liberals? And your answer is Louis Philippe. And your second question is, a custom union that was formed in 1834 at the initiative of Prussia and joined by most of the German states was called. And your options are Zollverein, B. Plebiscite, C. Utopian Vision, and all of this. So if you are reading book carefully, then you may answer it very simply, as it is the most simple question of this chapter. And your time starts now. And the answer to this question is Zollverein. Now we will know about some of the most important terms in our chapter which may be asked in your exams. You know that this is the best quality of this book, that it used to provide various explanations and other terms that are very useful to you while reading the chapter or related to your board exams. So we will know about the meaning of plebiscite. Plebiscites we can simply learn through that it is a direct vote in which people are either asked to either accept or reject a proposal. मीन्स एक ऐसा ये वोट होता है जहाँ पर पीपल को सीधा अधिकार दिया जाता है कि आप या तो ये प्रपोजल को एक्सेप्ट कीजिए या तो इसको रिजेक्ट कर दीजिए. आगे आता है यूथोपियन विजन. यूथोपियन मीन्स एन इमेजिनरी आइडियल सोसाइटी विच प्रिंसिपली डस नॉट एक्सिस्ट. इसका मतलब है यूथोपियन एक ऐसा परफेक्ट सोसाइटी को दर्शाता है जो कि एक्चुअली में कभी एक्सिस्ट ही नहीं कर पाता. आगे आपका क्वेश्चन है चूज द करेक्टली मैच पेयर फ्रॉम द फॉलोइंग. पहला आपका पेयर है ऑटोमन बिस्मार्क जर्मनी, नेपोलियन स्पेन, तीसरा गुइसेपी गैरिबाल्डी फ्रांस, उसके बाद बर्बन किंग्स इटली. तो आप लोग सब जानते हैं कि Otto von Bismarck was the chief minister and later he became the prime minister of Germany and was played a important role in unification of Germany. So it would not be very difficult for you to mark it. And the very good quality of this book explanation, so we will know about it too. Otto von Bismarck was the chief minister of Prussia, Germany. He was the architect of process of unification of Germany, which was carried out by the help of Prussian army and bureaucracy. Bureaucracy means with the help of their money and muscle power. After that we will know that what would be the correctly matched pair of the other incorrect options. So we very well know that Napoleon was a military commander of France. After that, Giuseppe Garibaldi, he drive out Spanish rule in 1859. He drive out Austrian rule in 1859 from Italy. Third is our Bourbon kings, who was ruling over Spain. After that, our fourth question is, which of the following claimed that the true German culture was to be discovered among the common people, Das Volk? So common people is also known as Das Volk. It is the code word. You may prefer my video to know various code words like Bangi, Volksgeist, so that it could be easy for you to recognize. Every time it will not provide you the common name and the code name for this. So the options for this question is first Karol Karpinski, B. Louis Philippe, C. Karl Welker, and D. Johann Gottfried Herder. So its answer will be Johann Gottfried Herder. And one more explanation is given that Johann Gottfried Herder was a German philosopher. After that we will know about all the other three incorrect options. So the first, Louis Philippe was the constitutional monarch of France and his region was known as July monarchy. So anyone can ask you questions that whose region was known as July monarchy, and why it is called, because he came in power after the July Revolution of 1830. Your next incorrect option was Karol Krzybinski. He was a Polish music composer who led movement in Poland through the various dance forms and folks like Polonaise and Mazurka. After that, Karl Welker was a liberal politician and an elected member of a Frankfurt parliament, which convened in the Church of St. Paul on 18 May 1848. मीन्स ये एक लिबरल पॉलिटिशियन थे जो कि कॉन्वीन किए थे इन चर्च ऑफ सेंट पॉल 18, जो कि कब होल्ड हुआ था 1848 में. कैन यू टेल मी हाउ मेनी मेंबर्स वेंट टू द सेंट फ्रैंकफर्ट पार्लियामेंट? एंड योर आंसर इज 831 elected representative. Which of the following is best signifies the idea of liberal nationalism of the 19th century? आपका ऑप्शन है emphasis on social justice, B state planned socio-economic system, C freedom for individual and equality before law, and D supremacy of the state oriented nationalism. And your time starts now. से पूछा गया कि कौन सा ऐसा बेस्ट सिग्निफाई करता है आइडिया ऑफ लिबरल नेशनलिज्म को ड्यूरिंग 19th century in Europe. So its answer will be freedom for individual and equality of all before law. Explanation is the term liberalism is derived from the liber, which means free. Liberalism stood for freedom of individual and equality of all before the law. Politically, it emphasized for the government by consent. Liberalism also stood for the end of autocracy and clerical privileges, a constitutional and representative government through parliament. तो ये आपका लिबरलिज्म का था डेफिनेशन थ्रू सोशल एंड पॉलिटिकल टर्म्स. The next question is, in 1789, the France was full-fledged territorial state under the rule of which of the following? First, a federal republic. B, an absolute monarch. C, a democratic ruler. None of this. So we very well know that it was under an absolute monarch. And who was ruling it? Louis XVI, a Bourbon king, was an absolute monarch of France in 1789. Next question. When France assignatures, the rest of the Europe catches cold. Who among the following said this popular line? Option A is Giuseppe Mazzini, option B is Metternich, option C is Otto von Bismarck, option D is Giuseppe Garibaldi. And the answer to this question is Metternich. Explanation to this is Metternich was an Austrian chancellor or diplomat who was at the center of European affairs. Ever since the French Revolution, the political development in France had a direct impact on the rest of the European continent. Hence, Metternich famously remarked, "When France assignatures, the rest of Europe catches cold." And now we will know about the incorrect options. So the first incorrect option was Giuseppe Garibaldi, who was an Italian freedom fighter who joined the Young Italy movement and led the famous expedition of the thousands of South Italy. After that, Italian revolutionary Giuseppe Mazzini, founded to underground society, young Italy in Marseilles, and young Europe in Borne. Maggini's relentless opposition to monarchy and his vision of democratic republic frightened the conservatives. Third is your Otto von Bismarck. He was the chief minister of Prussia, Germany. He carried out unification of Germany with the help of Prussian army and bureaucracy. Can you tell me who take the help of France army and bureaucracy? And your answer is Count de Cavour for the unification of Italy. Study the picture and the answer of the question that follows. Which of the following aspects best signify the image of Germania? A. Heroism and justice. B. Folk and cultural tradition. C. Austerity and asceticism. D. Revenge and vengeance. So you can see this picture. It is a type of picture based questions from you. So its answer will be heroism and justice. Your next question from you is, who among the following was proclaimed as the first German emperor in 1871? And your options are William I, William II, Frederick William I, Frederick William II. And your answer will be William I. Can you tell me who was offered the crown in the Frankfurt Parliament? And your answer will be Frederick William IV. In January, the explanation of the answer is, in January 1871, the Prussian king William I was proclaimed that the first German emperor in the ceremony held at Versailles. So the next question from you is, which of the following reforms was introduced by Napoleon? First, a standardized system of weights and measures. B, a common national currency. C, abolition of feudal system. And option D is all of the above. And you very well know that its answer will be all of the above. And the explanation is, Napoleon introduced all the administrative changes through Civil Code of 1804, usually known as Napoleonic Code. So you can be asked that which is also known as Napoleonic Code. So you can write that Civil Code of 1804 is also known as Napoleonic Code. Your next question from you is, which of the following attributes stands for willingness to make peace? And your options are breastplate with eagle, olive branch around the sword, broken chain, all of the above. So you very well know that olive branch and the around the sword shows the willingness to make peace. An olive branch symbolizes the peace and the sword symbolizes readiness to light. But together an olive branch and around the sword symbolize willingness to make peace. Breastplate with eagle stands for symbol of German strength. So you can be asked what is the symbol? Which symbol stands for the strength of the German emperor? So its answer will be breastplate with eagle. For this also I have made a separate video for the code words or the symbol. You can prefer it. After that, while broken chain refers to the act of being free. Next question from you is, which of the following was not visualized by Frederick Soule in his first print of series of 4 prints?
made up of democratic and social republic, people of America, Europe, men and women of all ages, social class marching in long train. C. Offering homage to the Statue of Unity. D. All of this. And its answer will be offering homage to the Statue of Unity. Explanation of this is a Statue of Unity is located in Gujarat, state of India, where Frederick Sorie thought of offering homage to the Statue of Liberty located in USA. And the next question from you is, he was described as the most dangerous enemy of the social order by Metternich. Who was he? We very well know that he was Giuseppe Mazzini. The explanation is, Mazzini relentlessly opposition to monarchy and his vision of democratic republic frightened the conservatism in Europe, and so was described as the most dangerous enemy of our social order by Metternich, Chancellor of Austria, who himself was a conservative. Your next question is, which of the following was not among the symbols of New Britain when a new British nation was forged through the propagation of dominant English culture? Your options are A. Union Jack, B. God Save Our Noble King, C. English language, D. Irish language. So your answer will be Irish language. Explanation of this: Union Jack, the British flag, God Save Our Noble Earth, and the national anthem, and the English language was actively promoted after the United Kingdom was forged, whereas Scotland and Ireland became subordinate partners of the United Kingdom. And your question number 15 is, the French Revolution artists used the female allegory to portray which of the following ideas? Your option A is liberty, option B is justice, option C is republic, and option D is all of this. And its answer will be all of this. The attributes of republic and liberty are the red cap and broken chain. Liberty means free, it stands for broken chain, and republic stands in the red cap. Respectively, while the justice is generally a blindfolded woman carrying a pair of weighing scales. Your next question is, in visual representation, who wear a crown of oak leaves? We very well know that Germania hold a sword with oak leaves or a oak leaves in her crown. Explanation of this question is, Germania wearing a crown of oak leaves symbolize heroism because the allegory of German nation, while Marianne was in France. Your next question is, a government or system of rule that has no restraint on the power exercised is called. And your options are absolutist, B. utopian, C. democratic, and D. conservatist. And we very well know that it is absolutist. Explanation of this is, the term refers to a form of monarchical government that was centralized, militarized and repressive. मतलब ये एक ऐसा फॉर्म का मोनार्कियल गवर्नमेंट का फॉर्म है दैट इज सेंट्रलाइज, जो कि सेंट्रलाइज्ड हो, मिलिटराइज्ड हो और रेप्रेसिव हो. किसी को आवाज़ उठाने का हक नहीं दिया जाता है इसमें. Those in authority generally exercise power according to their whims and fancies without any restraint. मतलब इनकी जो पावर रूल करने की क्षमता है उसको कोई मना नहीं कर सकता. They do what they want. People will not take into the consideration. मतलब पीपल का डिसीजन इसमें उतना मैटर नहीं करता. आगे आता है यूथोपियन सिस्टम इज ए पिक्चर ऑफ एन आइडियल सोसाइटी. जैसा कि हमने आपको पहले बताया था, यूथोपियन एक ऐसा सोसाइटी है जहाँ कोई भी एडुल्ट्रेशन और इविल प्रैक्टिसेस होता ही नहीं, लेकिन ये सोसाइटी एक्चुअली में एग्जिस्ट करना पॉसिबल ही नहीं है। In utopianism, all men and women are good-natured, hard workers, and there are no sense of jealousy, inferiority, gender, caste, or class inequality. A democratic system is a system which respects and prioritizes the will of its people. Next question is Soryu's vision of society, which is so idealistic that it is unlikely to exist, is called as utopian vision. Explanation: utopian vision is of French artist was so ideal, so perfect and undelectable that it was impossible to find such a vision to materialized in reality. And the related theory of this incorrect answers are: absolutist is a type of government or system of rule that has no restraint on power exercised, while democracy is the supremacy of the will of common people. Government is run by the representative chosen by common people, while conservatism is a political philosophy that stressed the importance of tradition, established institutions and customs, and preferred gradual development to quick change. Now it is telling that arrange the following events of world history in increasing order of their date of occurrence. So first we will know about the date of the following options. First, unification of Italy. It occurred in 1871. First, unification of Italy. It occurred in 1871. Option B, unification of Italy. It occurred in 1859 to 1870. After that, Vienna Peace Treaty. It occurred in 1815, and Napoleonic War. It started in 1797. So when you will arrange it, you will find the correct answer, which will be 3, 2, 1 and 4. Choose the incorrect option from the column A and B. So we have to choose the incorrect option. So incorrect option is Frederick Soryou, as he was not a British artist, he was a French artist. In 1848, Frederick Soryou prepared a series of 4 prints visualizing his dream of a world made up of democratic and social republic. Answer will be plebiscite, which is a system of direct vote. Explanation is A, B and D are incorrect because plebiscite is a system of direct voting by which all the people of a region are asked to accept or reject a proposal. The related theory about this question is absolutist refers to a form of monarchical government or system of rule that has no restraint on power exercised. Next is utopian vision, means a vision of society that is so ideal that is unlikely to be actually exist. And the suffrage means right to vote. Now your next question is in the form of correct it and rewrite and write true or false. So the first question is Germania wears a red cap, the tricolor, the cockade. State whether the statement is true or false. If false, correct the statement. So we very well know that it is false. As we have never seen Germania wearing a red cap. Germania becomes the allegory of the German nation and wears a crown of oak leaves, as the German oak stands for heroism. Explanation is artists in the 18th and the 19th century personified nation and the basic values of liberty, truth, justice through female figures. These were called female allegories. Germania was the allegory of Germany. She wears crown of German oak leaves, which stands for heroism. Your next question is, Napoleon abolished the feudal system in various parts of Europe. State whether the statement is true or false. If false, correct the statement. But we know that this statement is true. In the Dutch Republic, in Switzerland, in Italy and Germany, Napoleon simplified the administrative divisions, abolished the feudal system and freed peasants from the serfdom and manorial dues. In towns too, guild restrictions were removed. Next question is, Louis Otto Peters was a political activist who founded a women's journal and subsequently a feminist social union. So, you can be asked that who was a political activist who founded a women's journal and subsequently a feminist political association. So its answer will be Louis Otto Peters. Next question is, the Bourbon king who had been restored to power during the conservative reactions after 1815 were now overthrown by radical conservatism. And the answer is the Bourbon king who had been restored to power during the conservative reaction after 1850 were overthrown by liberal revolutionaries. Your next question is, in 1830s were years of great political uprising in Europe. And the answer will be the 1830 were years of great economic hardship in Europe. As it was a time of great struggle when the food rises in food crops, in prices, years of bad harvest, imports and exports were increased, migration increased, and population was very much increased, and it created a widespread unemployment over the country. It is also known as a hunger, hardship and revolt period of the 1830s in Europe. Now we will look at fill in the blanks. So the first question is, the most serious source of nationalist tension in southeastern Europe after 1871 was in the area called the Balkan. And the explanation is, the Balkan was a region of geographical and ethnic variation comprising modern-day Romania, Bulgaria, Albania, Greece, Macedonia, Croatia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Slovenia, Serbia, and Montenegro. The spread of idea of romantic nationalism in the Balkan together with the disintegration of Ottoman Empire made this region very explosive. And this was the main cause of the World War I. Your next question is, let's move on to our fill in the blanks. So the first question in the fill in the blanks is, the most serious source of nationalist tension in southeastern Europe after 1871 was in the area called. In this you may easily predict that where the tension word come, you can directly write that it is the area of Balkan, because it was the most serious tension due to which the World War first occurred. So your answer will be Balkans. The explanation is, the Balkan was a region of geographical and ethnic variation comprising modern-day Romania, Bulgaria, Albania, Greece, Macedonia, Croatia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Slovenia, Serbia, and Montenegro. The spread of ideas of romantic nationalism in Balkan, together with the disintegration of Ottoman Empire, made this region very explosive. Now your next question is, the German philosopher Das claimed that the true German culture was to be discovered among the common people, Das Wall. So you very well know that, as I am thinking that I have asked this question twice in this session, so you may answer it, that he was Johann Gottfried Herder. Now the next question is, name the term which is used for the countries to the east of Mediterranean, usually referring to Asia. मीन्स यहाँ से पूछा गया है कि जो भी कंट्री पूरब की दिशा में रहते हैं, किसके, मेडिटेरियन एक जगह का नाम है, वहाँ के, उसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? तो उसका आंसर होगा ओरिएंट। इसका एक्सप्लेनेशन है, वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज सी दिस रीजन एज ए प्री मॉडर्न, traditional and mysterious. The name Orient also means the same. Next question. Giuseppe Mazzini was revolutionary from, everyone knows that Giuseppe Mazzini was revolutionary from Italy, who was born in Genoa 1807. Next question. Dash mobilized nationalist feeling among the educated elite across Europe. मीन्स इसका क्वेश्चन का कहने का मतलब है कि कौन सा ऐसा नेशनलिस्ट फीलिंग को जगाने में कौन मदद किया था अमंग यंग मेंबर्स ऑफ यूरोप? तो इसका आंसर होगा ग्रीक वॉर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस। इसका एक्सप्लेनेशन है, growth of revolutionaries nationalists in India, Europe as part of a struggle for independence amongst the Greece which began in 1821. Poets and artists launched Greece as a cradle of European civilization and mobilized public opinion to support its struggle against a Muslim empire. These efforts invoked a new wave of nationalism across Europe. Now one related theory is given to that is the Treaty of Constantinople of 1832 recognized Greece as an independent nation. Next question is in the form of read the source given and then answer. But I have seriously read the chapter and I am able to make the answers of this question as it is related to your book. But the way to solve these types of questions is to just underline the important points and then move on to the next line and do the same. You will get most of the answers from there. So the first question is, Vienna Peace Treaty settlement was signed in, we very well know that in 1814 and between 1815, and after this a conservative regime was set up in Europe. In 1850, representatives of European powers, Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria. If you want to simply learn this, so you can learn by telling PRAB, P-R-A-B, means Prussia, Russia, Austria and Britain. You will never forget by learning through this method. So they were the European powers who had collectively defeated Napoleon, met at Vienna to draw up a settlement for Europe. The Congress was hosted by Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich. Choose the correctly matched options from the following. So broken chain represents act of being free, sword represents readiness to fight, crown of oak leaves represents heroism, and breastplate with eagle symbolize the German emperor strength. Now once more we are moving to the match following. So first, Frederick William IV. He joined other monarchs to oppose elected assembly in Frankfurt Parliament. Louis Otto Peters. He founded a women's journal. You may say a paper or newspaper or magazines. Now you can be asked who proclaimed the man the stronger and woman the weaker, and the answer is Karl Welcker. Now who organized funds and went to fight in the war, and its answer will be Lord Byron. Now just see its explanation. On 18 May 1848, the deputies of Frankfurt Parliament offered the crown to Frederick William IV on a condition that the German nation should be headed by monarchy, subject to a parliament. He, however, rejected it and joined other monarchs to oppose the elected assembly. Louis Otto Peters was a political activist who founded a women's journal and feminist political association. Her first issue was published on 21 April 1849. The liberal politician Karl Welcker was an elected member of a Frankfurt Parliament. The English poet Lord Byron organized funds for the Greek War of Independence and went to fight in the war, where he died of fever in 1824. Now the questions are, when was the Act of Union signed? We know that it was signed in 1707. And if you want to learn the dates easily, you may prefer my dates league, which will tell you all the dates, not only of history. It will tell it about the dates of economics, geography, civics, all composed in one video. Your next question is, Ireland was incorporated into UK. When was Ireland incorporated into UK? And the answer is 1801. Next is, Greek struggle for independence begins in 1821. William I, the Prussian king. In 1871, he was declared as the King of United Italy. Now we are moving on towards our assertion and reason questions. In this question, most of the students used to got struck and used to think, how do we do that? So the best option to do this is just look the options of this question, as all the questions are having the same options. And if you concentrate fully for 5 minutes on these options and think whether these options are applicable on this question or not, then I guarantee you cannot do wrong in any question. So first let's see the options. So your option A will be every time both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. इसका मतलब है कि A और R सही है और जो रीज़न है वो सही है किसका, असर्शन का। दूसरा जो आपका ऑप्शन आता है कि बोथ A एंड R आर ट्रू, मतलब बोथ जो कहा गया है वो भी सही है, जो रीज़न है वो भी सही है, लेकिन जो एक्सप्लेनेशन है R का वो A के लिए नहीं है। और आगे आपका ऑप्शन आता है A इज़ करेक्ट बस R इज़ रॉन्ग, मतलब असर्शन जो कहे हैं वो सही है लेकिन रीज़न क्या है, रॉन्ग है। दूसरे में आता है कि असर्शन रॉन्ग है लेकिन रीज़न सही है। So let's see question, you will understand better. So the first question in your assertion and reason is, first assertion, serfdom and bonded labor were abolished in Habsburg Dominion and Russia. And the reason is, monarch had realized that revolution could be resisted only by granting concessions to liberal nationalist rebels. So your answer will be both assertion and reason are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Explanation of this question is, to curb repression and threats of revolution. Autocratic monarchies of Europe, Central and Eastern, began to introduce changes and concessions to elude the labels. Thus, both serfdom and bonded labor were abolished, and they were starting to be treated better. Now let's move on to our very short answer type questions. So the first question is, examine the significance of the Statue of Liberty in Frederick Soryu's painting, The Dream of Worldwide Democratic and Social Republic. So here a Statue of Liberty in the painting symbolizes that it is the allegory of liberty. As you all know that liberty means act of being free. The painting shows independent nation marching towards the Statue of Liberty, therefore symbolizing fraternity among the nation of the world. It means that दो भी पीपल मार्च कर रहे थे एंड जो ऑफर कर रहे थे होमेज टू द स्टैचू ऑफ लिबर्टी, वो लोग एक फ्रैटर्निटी को सिम्बोलाइज करते हैं, मतलब भाईचारा को सिम्बोलाइज कर रहे थे, एज they were from different nations but they were marching on a single chain. Next question is, why was Otto von Bismarck considered as the architect of unification of Germany? Otto von Bismarck is considered as the architect of unified Germany. Otto von Bismarck as the architect of unified Germany because he had done many things for the unification of Germany. He fought 3 wars over 7 years and he made a diplomatic alliance with Prussia to unify the Germany. So he is also considered as the architect of unified Germany. Next, why did Frederick Soryu present utopian vision in his prints in 1848? Explain one reason. So there he had to explain one reason. So guys, you can see that it is the page of a topper's answer sheet. So this will give you idea that how you could write your answers in your board exams. So let's see the answer. Frederick Soryu presented the utopian vision in his prints in 1848 to inculcate a feeling of nationalism as well as fraternity among the people of the world. So you can write its answer that Frederick Soryu has presented the utopian vision in his prints because he wanted to show the feeling of nationalism and as well as feeling of fraternity among the peoples of different country or what. Now the next question is, who became the allegory of German nation? So we very well know that allegory of German nation is known as Germania. Now related theory to this question is, in visual representations Germania wears a crown of oak leaves as the German oak stands for heroism. Now next question, why did most conservative regimes impose censorship laws to control printed material? Now the next question is, name the act which resulted in the formation of United Kingdom of Great Britain. So you very well know that the Act of Union, which was signed in 1707, resulted in the formation of United Kingdom of Great Britain. And the explanation is, the Act of Union 1707 was signed between England and Scotland, resulted in the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. England imposed its rule on Scotland. Next question is, Explain the aim to form Zollverein, a custom union in 1834 in Germany. So the main aim to form Zollverein custom union in 1834 in Germany was to bind Germany economically into a nation, as there were many problems like there was not a common term of measuring clothes or measuring units. There were more than 30 currencies, and there were several problems. People have to face many barriers to move from one country to other. So for this, Zollverein was formed. The theory. Zollverein was a custom union formed in 1834 as the initiative of Prussia and joined by most of the German states. So if you are asked that by whose initiatives Zollverein was formed, so you can write the answer Prussia, and it was later joined by most of the German states. Now the next question is, why were the Vietnamese provinces like Nage and Ha Tin called as electrical fuses? So the answer is Vietnamese provinces as electrical fuses. These provinces were among the poorest and old radical tradition. When the system was under pressure, they were the first to blow. Now the next question is, why did most of the conservative regimes impose censorship laws to control printed material associated with French Revolution in 1815? So the answer is, most conservative regimes imposed censorship laws to control printed material associated with the French Revolution in 1815 because these states were autocratic and thus wanted to preserve traditional institutions of a state and society, like the monarchy, the church, the social hierarchies, etc., while freedom of press even would lead to wide circulation of revolutionary ideas. So censorship was imposed. Now the next question is, which country did the artist French Frederic Sorio belong? So we very well know that Frederic Sorio was a French artist, so he belonged to the nation France. Now the next question is, which nation was identifiable in the revolutionary tricolor in Sorio's Ethiopian vision? So the French nation was identifiable in the revolutionary tricolor in Sorio's Ethiopian vision. The related theory to this question is, in 1848, Frederic Sorio, a French artist, prepared a series of 4 prints visualizing his dream of a world made of democratic and social republic. In Sorio's Ethiopian vision, the people of the world are grouped as distinct nations identified through their flags and national costumes, marching towards the Statue of Liberty. Now the next question is, who was called as the architect of Germany's unification? We very well know that it was Otto von Bismarck. Now the next question is, who marked when France finishes the rest of the Europe catches cold? We very well know that it was Duke Metternich, the Austrian Chancellor. Next question, what was the meaning of liberal in the early 19th century in Europe, and explain the meaning of liberalism? So we will note its answer. In the early 19th century in Europe, liberalism stood for freedom of individual and equality of all before law. And we very well know that the term liberalism derives from the Latin word liber, which means free. Politically, it emphasized the concept of government by consent. 19th century liberalism also stressed the inviolability of private property. Next question is, why did Slavic nationalists struggle in the 19th century? Give one reason. To define their identity and independence. Next question is, who implemented the Civil Code of 1804 in France? And the answer is Napoleon Bonaparte. Next, the related theory to this question is the Civil Code of 1804 is also known as the Napoleonic Code. It was passed by Napoleon Bonaparte in 1804 in many parts of Europe which he had conquered. After rising to power in France, it was passed by him to maintain control in his territory. Now the next question is, name the Treaty of 1832 that recognized Greece as an independent nation. So we very well know that the Treaty of Constantinople of 1832 recognized Greece as an independent nation. Now it is one picture based question. Study the picture and answer the question that follows. So here he lost the battle of Leipzig and he was moving to his European kingdom once more. Explain as to what does this image the courier of Rhineland say about the Napoleon. As I told you, the picture shows the loss of territories under Napoleon after his defeat at the Battle of Leipzig in 1813. Napoleon in his picture is shown as a postman on his way back to France after he lost the Battle of Leipzig in 1830. Each letter dropping out of his bag shows the names of the territories he lost after the battle. The next question is, what was the main aim of the French revolutionaries? So the main aim of the French revolutionaries was to create a sense of collective identity among the French people. Now the next question is, what is the meaning of concentration camp? So it is class 9th question, but sometimes you are asked. So the answer will be a prison where people are detained without due process of law. So here our Educart 1 marks questions and
Hence our all 1 marks questions of Educart book ends here. Thanks for watching once again. And if you want to support me, then please subscribe my channel, like it, share it to the maximum because sharing is caring, and join my Telegram group for the study materials and quick updates for the next sessions.